right solution. It's going to give us government board. They asked me, so will you know buy this beautiful Dell laptop? What is going to happen to it in 2 years? Because of our and the destination would be, that's how it works. We need to work around it. So one of the key things is technology is going so fast, but the benefits, things are getting cheaper. Technology is advancing. There's so much innovative technology that brings the cost of implementation and management down. In general, everywhere, but I mentioned in education, so it's an example in education. 2 years ago, I worked in Australia for 25 years. In Australia, 8 or 10 years ago, I started working in whiteboards. So when I came to Singapore, I got interactive whiteboards are it. And then I got a job. So I go to Indonesia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and I say, no one, they can't really afford it. It's very expensive. We've got millions and billions of students. How are we going to scale this up? So the next question was, what other technologies are there that can do that and maybe a percentage of the cost? And they are technologies. I'll give you a simple example with interactive technology. So if you see out there, there's an interactive shopper project and by the way, for anyone who is interested, we have it showcased in our book. Please have a look. Even if you just spend 10 minutes, because it is really innovative and it does bring costs down, and especially here, I think some of the projects that we have, we can move forward fast ahead if we can look at cheaper technologies without compromising user experience and what it can do in a classroom environment. So in this case, the use of an interactive projector, can anyone read that? It's a bit rough, right? I can make this available for you to the organizers. So the interactive projector's use is easier than it would be if you're using an interactive whiteboard. Now please don't get me wrong. The interactive whiteboard serves an excellent purpose. But the interactive projector does about 98 to 99% of what an interactive whiteboard does. They have purposes, there are many functions that are redundant to one another. So in an interactive whiteboard, you usually put it on a wall somewhere. So if I'm a teacher, I have to stand in front of the wall to interact and write. And in interactive projector, you don't have to do that. Because of the way the technology works, you could be anywhere, you could use your mouse on a laptop, you could use an interactive stylus like pen, anywhere in the classroom and interact with the board. So interactivity is there. The size. As a projector, you have the variance of the size of projection. With an interactive whiteboard, what you buy is what you get. And usually, the bigger boards are much more expensive than the smaller boards. I won't go through all of them, but I'll just give you a couple more examples. The software. Software on an interactive projector is software agnostic. So you could use any software. The surface of an interactive projector is surface agnostic. So you can have a hard wall, any hard wall, value non-reflective, and you'll be able to project it. You don't need gadgets, you don't need to install them, you don't even have to hang it on the wall. And because it's an ultra-short projector, when I'm in front of it, you don't get shadows that you do here. And it is also hardware agnostic. So you can use it with anywhere. So the reason I bring up this projector is just as one example of how technology is evolved. And the interactive projector is probably a 50 and a lot of the times even an 8 or a 10 of the price. So, let me do my bit for Dell whilst I'm here. The education solution overview that you can see out there is a blended amount of solutions that Dell has developed, or we've developed together at Dell to try and cater for the different markets, different countries with different levels of IT adoption, but ensuring that they get best practice. So, we look at the teacher as a teacher-centric environment. Yes, we all want to change that. We want our teachers to become facilitators. So there's workshops and there's projects that's happening in the classroom because we know through research is how we learn best. So, whilst we want to take away from the teacher centricity, we have to start from the teacher because we're going to train the teachers, they need to be comfortable. And the generation gap that I talked to you earlier about also exists in the classroom. So we look at a solution and we say, alright, it is not just about the hardware pieces, it is also about the software, but software pieces that are easy for the teacher to learn and easy to use, and the applications that come with it. How do you validate all of this and make sure that you also scale it according to budget? We can have 30 things in a solution, but we might not have the budget for it. So we pick the two critical things. And then, the following year, we plan for something different. Following year, we plan for something else. But all along, we are going down the path of best practice and ensuring that our children are much more competitive in the global market by giving them the right tools and environment. So, I'll show one more thing in this solution. The virtual classroom topology. Every Wednesday night, and yes, I did this last night as well, I teach 25 students all around Australia and Asia Pacific. I have students from Mongolia. They are participating in my MBA program, and I was in the hotel Intercontinental last night, very dodgy wireless. But I conducted my lesson. I chose not to do video, but all I had done to do my 2-hour lecture was a free recording that I had done last weekend. I had sent it to the students. They had listened to it, and they all know me. And mind you, these are very highly trained CEOs and sales directors of the company. They came on board, and we had a 2-hour workshop with no problem, the entire session recorded, which then will be sent to them via email, or they can go to the website at Charles University and download it, and they will have it on their mobile devices to listen to again and again and again. So that's what technology can do. It brought 35 students to me in Manila, and it addressed the shortages of teachers in Australia in the campus. So this is some of the scenarios. 2 classrooms, one classroom has a teacher, the other one doesn't. How do we use technology to ensure that our lower skilled teachers are getting better skilled? Technology helps. Doesn't help on its own, it's a plan. It needs to be a process. In most of the cases, we need to use both the cane and the stick, candy and the stick, to make process change for the transformation to happen. And over here at the bottom, we have a very new solution that was just released last week. In the past, we could have 0 clients where you could have one at a low, we are talking low cost for education, and higher cost, much more elaborate technology for the corporate world, but 1 PC to 6 students. We released some new devices last week that will take, without compromising on performance, to 15 students. So imagine if you have the current situation where you are looking to equip 1 PC to 6 students, we have just doubled that, or more than doubled that. What does that mean? How much faster can we equip our children with access? Next question.